Okay, so I want to share some thoughts while I have the chance. And I say that because, from my experience, if I don't get it out right away, then it typically leaves my mind. So it's gone. Okay. So, I don't know, several days ago, I put in this request to the universe, to God, however you want to look at it, that I wanted to know, like truly understand, not just the textbook academic definition type stuff. I wanted to truly understand what a trauma bond is. And I literally just thought to myself, like, what is a trauma bond really? And then I let it go. And today, this morning has kind of felt it's been a little difficult just with everything I had to do with my daughter and just getting my day going and all this stuff. But it's also felt a little bit heavy, and I spent some time doing some video journaling today, and that was helpful and all this stuff, right? And and as I was doing my video journaling, it's again this flow, this numinous flow, but it was kind of like as I was talking and getting stuff out, which is healthy, right? It's like I had this trickling in of insights multiple times throughout my personal journaling vlog, right? Videos just for me. And sorry y'all, I got crumbs. I just got through eating a snack. Anyway, so where am I going with this? Here's the insight. And after it came to me, I kind of put the pieces together and realized that this is essentially an answer to the question that I put out, okay? And here's how I thought of this. That old phrase, if you can't beat them, join them, came to mind. And I had no idea where it came from. I don't know if I heard it from somebody and I just didn't consciously register it. It just got logged in my subconscious, or if it just randomly came to me. I have no idea where this came from. But if you can't beat them, join them. And I started thinking about my life experience and things that I have witnessed and observed with my new awareness, understanding how manipulative people work, okay? And here's what came to mind in relation to that old phrase. This is my proposal, and I'm no psychologist, but I still think this may be helpful to someone. My proposal is this, and maybe this is just common knowledge too. I want to say that too. Maybe this is just standard, everybody knows it, and I'm slow to grasp it. I don't know, but again, I want to put this out there. So essentially, through the lens of, if you can't beat them, join them. What if a trauma bond is created because of a coercive person, a manipulative, scheming person, cunning person, putting someone down? This can manifest in a lot of different ways. It can be mocking, it can be intimidating, but ultimately the result is that the target winds up feeling bad about themselves in some way. They wind up adopting shame, about oneself, one's just essence and who they are and how how God made them and all this stuff. And so now this person has developed shame from these interactions with this manipulative person. All right. So then what? The second stage of this, I'm just going to turn around. The traffic's so bad here this time of day. Always, but especially this time of day. The second stage of this is the same person who created the shame in the victim or the target, right, is now going to step in, and this is that hot and cold thing, okay? And they're going to express positive sentiments towards the target. And what happens to me is this person has been made to feel bad about themselves, and the first person to swoop in is the same person who implemented the shame. But the reason why a trauma bond develops is because it's like they're causing the wound, and then they're also giving you the medicine for it. And you're like, so you especially want this this love or whatever it is now, right? Because you've just been wounded. So they do this intentionally so that they have a stronger impact on you through whatever tactics they use, through compliments, through any kind of affection or whatever. It has a bigger impact on you. You see what I'm saying? And this is a slow and subtle process, which is why you can describe it as being very cunning. I think it's very cunning. I'm gonna try to hop out on the road now. But I thought this makes total sense. And so what winds up happening is this person develops a trauma bond. To me, this makes total sense as to what a trauma bond is. It's like looking at how this happens, for me, explains what it is. And so it's a complicated relationship. It becomes a complicated relationship. And I think that especially if the manipulation is coming from someone that you love, that you don't want to think bad of, like your own parent or spouse or something like that, then it's going to be especially effective, way more effective than just a random person, because you don't want to think bad of this person, that they would intend you any harm. You don't want to think that. And so even though you do in fact wind up feeling awful around this person because of the crazy things they say and the way they treat you, which is normal that you would feel awful from that, you're not going to, whether overtly, like vocally or even in your mind, you're not going to judge them and be like, what a jerk, like you would, like, say, with a stranger. You might do that with a stranger, but someone you love, you think a loving relationship with, you're not going to do that. So you're not going to just push them away. You're going to take what they say to heart. If they mock you, if they make you feel bad, whatever, it's going to mean something to you because you care about them and you care about their opinion, right? But you're going to carry, that's going to, if it happens enough over and over and over, even if it doesn't register as shame consciously, I think that this kind of stuff accumulates over time. It's a trickling type of thing, right? It's a cumulative effect. So I think that because it happens in this way, it's cumulative, it trickles in, not to mention the fact that this is typically coming from someone that you just really don't want to think bad of. It's just not even within your mind as a possibility that they could intend anything bad, towards you at all. And so this is how this happens subtly. And then they're going to swoop in, see, and be loving or whatever, and then that just means so much to you. All of this, I think, creates a stronghold of a trauma bond because we're not even aware of it. All we know is this feels bad, and then this feels good, and then this feels bad, and this feels good. And so this kind of makes your world really small, because other people who are healthy and are not manipulating you aren't going to do you that way. And I think the reason that we wind up, our world gets so small with these particular people, and usually it's one person in your life at a time. I hope it's no more than that. I hope it's none, but per my experience, it's one or two. It's usually not a lot that you're close to at a time that are like this. But because they are hurting you emotionally, psychologically, but it's bypassing your conscious awareness because it's so, you get used to it and you just kind of think, well, it's who they are, it's their personality or whatever. You write it off, but it gets logged. It gets logged. And then because when they swoop in and they're kind to you and loving to you, it means so much more then coming from that person. Then what happens is that person, your relationship with that person and your perception of that person gets elevated to a more important status out of other people in your life. You see what I'm saying? It's kind of like they become like, they get more attention and more of your energy and your heart. And that's how they manipulate that out of you. You see what I'm saying? Because they cause the wounds, but you're not consciously registering that. But they're giving you the medicine, and the medicine is the same kind of stuff you get from other people. If they're kind, they're giving you compliments, or they're loving, hugging on you, or, being there for you, whatever a normal, healthy, good friend would do, or family member would do for you. All these other people may be doing the same thing without also hurting you and giving you the hot and cold treatment. But because this person is doing this, then when the good things come from this person, they're going to mean more coming from this person than other people. And I just wanted to share this too, because it was kind of weird. When I got done with my video journals today, my personal video blog I saw a short from Ross Rosenberg, who has a cool channel too, and very helpful information. He talks about codependency. I think he's relabeled it as self-love deficit disorder. He's really interesting. But this short video was talking about the trauma bond, and I thought, it just felt like confirmation for me that, yeah, I really should share this insight. Again, this may be common knowledge for a lot of people, but it just clicked with me in this way. And I think maybe sometimes if we hear something presented in a certain way with certain words and language and terms from a person, it can click with you too. So that's what happens for me. And so this was confirmation for me that I need to share it with you all. And I'll put the link to that video in the description here. But yeah, it just made sense to me. And I think that also explains why the bond you have with these people is so strong. The trauma bond, right? And you don't know that. You don't realize it's a trauma bond. You just feel like you couldn't live without this person. Whether, again, it's a parent, a sibling, a friend, a spouse, whatever. And I know you feel that way like when you're in love and stuff anyway. If you're married to the right person, I'm sure you feel like, I really can't live without this person. I get that, but I'm talking about like a whole nother level. You know what I mean? So it's just a very unhealthy attachment. And so it just makes sense. And if you just think about, I hope you're out of a bad situation already, but if you can reflect back and you're trying to make sense of things, as part of your healing journey, if you can think back and just kind of remember how you felt about this person and how strong your love was for them, or your bond felt to them, or whatever, but yet the whole thing was confusing, and all this other stuff that just wasn't right. And on some level I think we know that, but we don't want to admit it to ourselves. That to me brought me a lot of peace, to understand that that's what created the strength, the unusually strong bond with that person. It's manipulative. They want to be, I've mentioned this before, they want to be the center of your universe. So why would they want to be the center of your universe? That's the question. A lot of people aren't going to understand this, but it's because they need you to stick around. They literally need you to, for some reason or another. It may be because they have some very malignant, dark plans for you, like involving life insurance to cash out on you or something like that, literally. And so they're trying to be so important to you that you'll never leave until they accomplish their plans. It could be because they are piggybacking off of you in some way with the people and they haven't yet secured other connections
through the people that you know for some reason. There's a reason. There's a reason. I was sharing this comment right here with my daughter earlier, which I believe to be true. I think that there's a reason for everything. I really do. And so to expand on that, I can look back on my experience and see how things didn't make sense and I just wrote them off and gaslit myself and said, well, I don't know, maybe I don't understand things. Well, even if you don't see the whole picture yet, the part of the picture you do see is there for a reason. And so I just ask you not to dismiss that, and if you've come out of the situation, I'm sure you can look back and say, yeah, absolutely. All these bizarre things happened for a reason and now I know what it is or whatever. But a lot of people are not going to believe where you're going and what you're sharing as far as what you've been through because their mind isn't even going in the direction of the types of schemes that a con artist can be up to. They're not even thinking about those kind of things. And I'm sure there's millions of schemes that I have never even crossed my mind yet that people have the potential to do. But that's why these people create the trauma bond, is to keep you stuck until they're finished with their goal. And so they can't have you running off. A normal person well, first of all, I don't know that I would say a normal person, just your average, especially a person with integrity and values, is going to cheat in a relationship. I don't believe in that, but I think that the difference in a person who isn't a psychopath, I guess, or a person who is that if a relationship or marriage or whatever is going south, whether this person over here in this example cheats or not, if it's going south, you're going to sit down with your partner and say, hey, something's not right, things, let's try to work on it, or we have tried to work on it, it's not working out, or whatever. You're going to part ways, before each one moves on. But over here, see, a person who's scheming, they're going to be doing their own thing and, having affairs and all kind of other stuff, and then still want you around. Well, why? Well, there's a reason. If they're getting, what they want from a whole bunch of other people and they still want you around, well, then you should say why, gosh, what is it you're looking to get out of this situation that could put your life could absolutely be at risk. And a lot of people, they just don't understand that. And so I just wanted to say that's why they create the trauma bond, and it's why they also create this whole cloud of fakeness. It's a facade to the community so that they can present themselves in an upstanding kind of way, looking like they have a bunch of integrity, but then they also create a facade towards you. But it's not just a facade towards you, it's a fantasy that you're roped into, or like this story, this false story that you're a character in, that they cast you in. It's like and that's why it feels like a circus, because at some level, it doesn't feel right. You're experiencing this hot and cold with them, and everything feels extreme, and it's just, you feel like you're on this roller coaster ride, and it literally does feel like a circus, but you can't pinpoint why. So they do all this to keep you confused and to keep you emotionally bound. So again, that you're stuck. You're stuck. Well, why would they want you stuck? Because they want you stuck for a reason. I would just say that. And so that reason can be one of many, or several of many different reasons. But I can't imagine any of those are good. You're a good, honest person with good intentions is going to be upfront, transparent with you, period. You know what I mean? That's how I view it. So a lot of people just they're not going to understand that.
And so I think, I want to do a longer video either tonight or tomorrow. The next story in this book is The Winter's Tale from Shakespeare, and I wanted to share that with y'all, my thoughts on it. I did read it already last night, and it's pretty good. It's kind of, there's a lot to it, a lot of different characters, and just a lot to the story, a lot of details, but I'll share this picture that they have here. Essentially, I asked myself, in trying to make sense of what the deeper message was in the story, I was thinking, like, where was the critical turning point? A lot of times you can think about that, like, where did things turn? Where did this happen? And who was there? And you can get a lot of insights just asking questions about the story in that way. So that's what I did. And what's interesting is things shifted when this new character came into the story, and this new character is a shepherd. And so I thought that was pretty cool, you know, if you think about the symbolism of that, especially through the Christian lens. And so I'm really excited to share this story with you all, but I want to take my time with it, and I want to give it the attention that it needs, and I don't want to just put something out there quick and it not being a good presentation for you all. So I just wanted to share that I'm working on that, and I'm going to share that with you all soon. So thank you so much for coming along to hear the message. I hope that you have a beautiful day, and I will see you again very soon.
So my whole day has been like this, where I've just had, it's felt, I think the word is disjointed. I don't know, but I had this come to me right as I was wrapping up the video, and I thought, I got to share this. So there is an Alison Krauss song that I love, and I don't remember the name of it, if it's actually this part of the chorus or not, but it's where she's singing about there must be a reason for it all. And so when I was thinking about the title of this video, that's what came to me, because, you know, we were talking about, you know, what's the reasoning behind some people's very strange actions. You know, it's like we can't make sense of it, right? And I think that determining that, even if we don't know what it is, just to determine that there is a reason, there's a motive behind a person's strange behavior or whatever, especially if they're very involved in our life, very close to us, if we can at least acknowledge that they're doing what they're doing for a reason, it could be life-saving. And that's the reason I made this video. It's not to try to induce paranoia about anyone in your life or anything like that, but I just want to encourage you to follow your gut, and to always consider safety. Not just peace of mind and heart, but safety. Making safety a priority. That's really what it comes down to. But that song came to my mind, There Must Be a Reason for It All. It's a beautiful song, and I'll link it down in the description if you want to listen to it, if you've never heard it. But there's also a Bible verse that came to mind, and that is, I believe, Proverbs chapter 19, verse 21. I have such a short memory, y'all. I just looked it up to be sure. I didn't want to misquote it. I think that's what it is. But it says, many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails. And so I just want to encourage you that no matter what schemes are plotted against you, I guess is how you would say it, I think that ultimately God has His way. And it may not look the way we want it to look sometimes, you know, but I think that in the end, it's everything serves a higher purpose. Again, Romans 8:28, He works all things for the good of those who love Him. But I think that our part is to not ignore what is prompting, trying to get our attention inside of us. You know, we're not supposed to ignore that kind of stuff. So I just encourage you to, even if you don't understand, if you're trying to be logical, but yet you can't make sense logically of what's happening to you, just consider that the things that are very strange may actually not be strange to the person who is doing these things, you know. They may have a hidden motive, and it could potentially be dangerous. I'm not saying it is. I don't know you personally or your situation, but I'm just encouraging you again to put safety first, and And so, but ultimately, I would just like to leave you with a little bit of encouragement, and that is that, like Proverbs 19:21 says, it is the Lord's purpose that prevails. So just take heart in that, and I hope that helps. And thanks again for listening, and I hope you have a beautiful day. I'll see you again very soon.